10 years. That's okay. Here we go.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we've had a chance to take a look at the items on the consent agenda. Is there anything that you'd like to remove from the consent agenda? Okay, anything, Steve? No. Moving on to activities, we have 2 oaths of office. And with that, do we need a motion to offer to hire?
Yeah, to formally approve the personnel changes that were covered in the work session that we saw on December 17th.
I'd like to entertain a motion to hire and offer to hire Assistant Fire Chief Steve Cox and Assistant Fire Chief Nathan Urban as a change to the current structure in the fire district. If you gentlemen would come forward, please.
We have to
Second. Who's first?
So moved.
Steve.
Steve?
Second.
Thank you. All right. Mr. Mearsfall.
Yay.
Mr. Gabbard.
Yay.
Mr. Wade.
Okay. Okay, gentlemen, if you would. We have some cheat sheets up here if you want to use them. Don't need to.
Part of the last part of
If you would raise your right hand. I, and state your name,
I, Mr. Urban,
do solemnly swear I will support the Constitution of the United States
do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
and the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and that I will faithfully discharge
the duties required as an Assistant Chief
the duties required as an Assistant Chief
of the Clear Creek Fire District,
of the Clear Creek Fire District,
Clear Creek Township, Warren County,
Clear Creek Township, Warren County,
State of Ohio,
State of Ohio,
to which office I have been appointed
to which office I have been appointed
according to the law and the best of my ability during continuance in office.
according to the law and the best of my ability
During
and continue my office.
Perfect. Congratulations, gentlemen.
Yeah, it's kind of a bummer.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, guys.
Thank you. Thank you.
We do one at a time so I can get the pictures if you wouldn't mind.
Take your
Go ahead, John.
time.
Be in the back.
Yeah.
Be taller than me in the picture?
Yeah, squat down. Squat down, John.
I need some bigger boots.
Yes,
hard.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't have my doors. We're waiting for it to come.
John's going.
Smile, man.
Thank you.
Good.
Congratulations.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, everybody. Thank you.
Are you Andy?
I am.
I'm back.
I'm back.
Don't leave yet.
Point at me, you sound very authoritative.
Turn the same way. There we go.
Okay, we do have a public hearing.
I just want to take a moment to thank Angie.
I'm going over to Harvard too.
As the treasurer,
I gotta figure out my phone.
Angie,
Wouldn't have
been for so much this year, can't figure it out.
I think you
for
gotta
us
put
and
my
I
camera
on
on.
the treasurer's office. She did a fantastic
Should've
job.
bought an Android.
Responsible to our needs, so I wanted to both recognize and thank her publicly here at the meeting, so thank you.
And thank you very much for your.
So you get a different helmet too, huh?
Fantastic. What a year, right?
Different
That was good, so we appreciate it very much. Thank you all.
Thank you very much.
That's right.
Okay,
Okay, all right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See you guys tomorrow. Thank you. Bright and early.
Entertain a motion to recess the regular meeting and open the public hearing.
Mr. Mearsfall. Mr. Gabbard. Mr. Wade.
Yeah. We have resolution 5289, a resolution levying an additional annual license tax upon the operation of the motor vehicles for public roads and highways of the unincorporated township and dispensing with the second reading. Anybody have any comments on that? Any public comments? Looks like not. Okay. Is there a motion to approve 5289?
Well, wait, don't we have to do that?
Oh, we gotta go back to regular.
Yeah,
Hey,
well,
yeah,
Right. There's no further comments, is there a motion to adjourn the public hearing?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Gabbard?
Yay?
Mr. Mearsfall?
Yay.
Mr. Wade?
Yay. And now, is there a motion? to
Actually, you don't
approve-
have to.
Yeah.
Need the second reading.
You gotta do the second reading.
Yeah, you gotta do this, yeah.
Yeah.
You'll do it next time on that Wednesday or
I
whatever.
thought we were dispensing with
It
the
says
second
we're
reading.
dispensing with the second reading.
I understand, but we've got to, by statute, you've got to have the two hearings first. So,
It's not a second reading of the resolution at the second.
Second hearing.
required by the statute, correct. Yep.
All right,
Sorry, fan.
all right, very good. So we just have to recess the public hearing.
Thank you.
Correct.
Yep.
Is there a motion to recess the public hearing?
You don't have to sign that actually, right?
So moved. Second?
Mr. Mearsfall?
Yay.
Mr. Gabbard?
Yay.
Mr. Wade?
Yeah, don't have to sign it yet.
Oh, we already did that.
Gotcha.
Okay.
We did, I don't know.
All right.
I'm just dotting our i's and crossing our t's.
I think we did.
Exactly.
Do it again next week. Practice if we want.
Okay, moving on to fiscal business. Well,
Yeah, just a couple quick questions now that the year's gone by and we've had time to shut the books down and the actual report is being generated by our accountant. Thought I'd give a quick update on where we stood on the general fund. The general fund is looking good. We had brought in $2,358,000 as of the end of the year versus 2.251 for 2019. Some of the differences there is we did have the sale of the asset for $172,000 at the house that we had on 48. So all in all, really, it's been for the year 2020, it was a pretty stable revenue coming in. About after we take out the house, we had 97% of what we had in 2019, which was a boom year. So all in all, that's not too bad with the general fund. We're well above the 40-50% band that you guys asked us to have as a reserve in the general fund. So I wanted to let you know about that. We're well above that, 92%, I think. And also I wanted a couple quick notes on the one of the reasons why we're actually doing the road stuff is because the gasoline tax was already less last year than we projected it to be. As the current administration in here is pushing very hard to get rid of fuel, so as that happens, the gasoline tax is going to become more and more pressured. We're on track to have 300,000 this year. We had estimated we'd get 330 last year. We only ended up with 315. So that trend is going to continue to push our revenues downwards, and that is our ability to also pave our roads. And so that's very important that we keep having the ability to pave our roads. And with that, I'll go ahead and just ask if anybody has any questions. I'd be happy to answer them at this time.
I don't have anything.
Thanks, guys. Well, I'll have a better report at when the accountant's done.
I know the state has collected an extra fee for registrations of electric cars annually, but I can't say as to how they divvy that up. So
I was wondering about that
trying to offset
myself.
some of that gasoline revenue that's lost. It wouldn't surprise me if it stayed in Columbus, but
Just
I
take
know
it
that
and
they're
keep it, that's
collecting
what I
extra
should
money.
expect. Yeah, that's key. Yeah. Okay, thank you, Russell. Moving on, no public comments. New business administration, resolution 5290. Resolution of intent to dispose of unneeded, obsolete, and unfit personal property, including motor vehicles, by internet auction, and dispensing with the second reading of the declaring emergency.
Annual procedural resolution to state our intent to sell stuff online auction.
Okay. Any questions on 5290? Is there a motion to approve 5290?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Gabbard?
Yay.
Mr. Mearsfall?
Yay.
Mr. Wade?
And 5291, resolution declaring personal property as surplus and approving an internet auction, direct sale, donation, disposal, and the destruction of said personal property and dispensing with the second reading as an emergency.
the reason the annual procedural resolution was emergency, because we needed this stuff listed on the GovDeals website. So this is surplusing a bunch of different equipment from multiple departments.
Okay. Any questions on 5291? And if there's none, I'd like to entertain a motion to approve.
So moved. Second?
Mr. Mearsclaw?
Yay.
Ms. Gabbard?
Yay.
Mr. Wade?
And 5292, resolution to authorize the township administrator to enter into agreement with Oswald Constructions as CM-R for facilities projects, dispensing with the second reading and declaring an emergency.
Well, the statute didn't have a formal requirement that we pass this by resolution. It's a pretty monumental step and pretty noteworthy in the process. So where we go from here is we try to work on a maximum guaranteed price, or a GMP, guaranteed maximum price as it's known as, with Oswald Construction to nail down exactly what gets needed out where in our project, specifically down to the dollar. So pretty monumental step in the process, and we went back and forth for several weeks trying to hammer out the legalities of the deal, and finally came up with something that we both feel comfortable with.
Okay. Anybody have any questions for Matt about 5292? Hearing none, is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second?
Mr. Gabbard?
Yay.
Mr. Mearsclaw?
Yay.
Mr. Wade?
Yeah, pretty exciting to be that step.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, nice work. Anything else under administration at this time?
Look at those aerials in the packet. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's really neat.
Okay, Police Department, recommendation to purchase two 2021 Dodge Chargers from Paul Sherry Charger as police vehicles at $25,550 each, $51,100 as per that.
These are the two cars we needed to buy last year, but because of COVID, the plants were shut down and couldn't get there, so they finally started taking orders on that. Unfortunately, pushing that out to now, we ended up with that $4,200 damage to an engine right now that they're attributing probably mostly to idle hour issues that we're having to piecemeal together to last, because these cars are probably going to hit the street till July. So this is just getting in line to order cars again, and then pushing, so we were going to get last year, but pushing it to this year because of COVID issues. So this is not the state bid. I think it's $25 less than the state bid. Paul Sherry beat that, the state bid with that price, so that's why we like it to go to them.
Great prices.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Weren't we headed towards all four-wheel drive vehicles at one point?
Yeah, we got to all four-wheel drive vehicles, and unfortunately, the transmission supplier to the Chargers, they can't. That transmission supplier went under. Something happened to the transmission supplier, which ties into the drivetrain with the four-wheel drive, or the all-wheel drive. So the only options we had this year were V6 all-wheel drive or the Hemi non-all-wheel drive. Now, back in the old days, we had two SUVs and the rest were sedans. So half our fleet is in SUVs now, half is in sedans. So if we have a bad day, that half of that fleet that's the SUVs, we can climb in those and accommodate the weather or whatever we need. So we did test drive with the 6 cylinders. They shipped it in from Michigan for us to take a look at. The guys were not pleased with the performance of it, even though it had the all-wheel drive aspect of it. They would rather have the Hemi and forego the all-wheel drive. But originally when the Dodge Chargers came out, they had it in the civilian version, but they didn't have it in the police version. It took them a year or two to catch up to Ford, which had all-wheel drive out. Right. Once they got here, now we're back to square one. Ford no longer has a sedan, and we're back to they can't get the transmission issues fixed on the all-wheel drive because of that particular vendor. Whatever happened to them, they can't get that done yet. So yes, but in the meantime, we've accumulated enough SUVs to accommodate bad weather if we need to be. We can park the stands and drive that. So.
Okay. Just making sure I wasn't losing my mind.
Moving the goalpost around.
I mean, is there a distinct advantage to the sedan as far as performance, obviously, versus the SUV? In other words, would it be bad for us to have all SUVs?
There's a sizable price difference. I think the Tahoes were about $38,000 a piece. These are $25,000 a piece.
I gotcha.
So part of it was financial, to still fill half the need in that. You know, getting the bigger Tahoes, the bigger Expeditions, that's a pretty beefy car, a big car for the.
And they don't make that smaller Ford?
The Ford we have is the one out back, which is the Interceptors, yeah. There were some issues with them, mechanically, and so we're still kind of watching that to see how that rolls back around mechanically on those. So, yeah.
Just curious.
Now, it's, you know, move the goalpost every so often on us, and here we go again, so.
Yeah, I know, I knew the Tahoes, but I was thinking the Interceptors were more in line price-wise with the Chargers, weren't they?
Yeah.
A lot
They're in
closer.
between the
Yeah.
sedans and the,
Okay, all right.
Okay.
Especially my Ford, you know.
Any other questions?
I would make it the van again.
Is there a motion to purchase these two vehicles?
So moved. Second?
Mr. Mearsclaw?
Yay.
Mr. Gabbard?
Yay.
Mr. Wood?
Yay. Anything else, Chief?
No.
Okay, under Road and Park, we have a recommendation to approve the 2021 annual striping program estimates for the roadway striping in an amount of $16,360.45.
So I had these guys go out and check the striping on the roads in the daylight and in the dark. They picked the worst ones, and that's the ones we went with this year. I'm gonna try to get them back on the cycle, 5 to 7 year cycle. We can stripe them. I picked the polyester because it's good for 5 years. You go with the other paint, it's only good for 2, so really we don't gain anything if we stay with the 2-year paint.
Okay, any questions about the striping program? Is there a motion to approve this recommended purchase of striping?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Gabbard?
Yay.
Mr. Mearsclaw?
Yay.
Mr. Wood?
Yay. Anything else?
That's
Road
it.
Department?
No, sir.
Just about halfway down on salt.
About halfway down in salt, we've got 375 still on order. So I've been keeping it pretty full. Every time we use it, we order, but everybody ordered it at one time, so
I'm sure they did.
that's where we're at. I got 3 maybe being delivered tonight.
If the county has any extras, because they certainly like to dump it on my road.
Well, they don't bump it down from township, I'll tell you that.
Well, I texted Matt the day the second day we got it. The day that they were off, it wasn't that bad, I didn't think. The next day was worse. The roads were, and it was fun. I almost took a video. I had to explain to my daughter the difference between city roads, township roads, county roads, and state roads.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you leave my house and you go down Springville Road and make a right on Pekin and hit 741, you can explain 3 of the 4.
Yeah.
So I did that. I said, notice the difference, and I'm hoping to God, like, I hope the guys got Pekin, I hope the guys got Pekin. We got to the stop sign, and it was so different, it wasn't even funny.
Most people don't know that.
No, trust us, we
Oh,
know.
yeah, you did all that.
Yeah. Most of the residents on Springboro Road know now because they've all complained to me about the condition of our road many times.
Have you
Yeah.
educated them thoroughly?
Yes, they all know. I said, Neil Tunison is who you need to call. Here's his number.
It's such a stark difference.
What's awesome
Just
is-
outside of the city of Cincinnati.
Warren County uses
County road or township road.
2 lanes when you hit the Warren County line. It goes down from 4 to 2, just like that one, so.
Well, good job last week. And
Thank you.
Yeah.
hopefully you guys don't have too rough a night tonight.
They just attacked that storm different. They come in and threw salt and went home and come back that next morning. Well, it froze up in that time and we just stayed on it till we were done.
Right, right. And
That's how I prefer to do it.
well, that's the thing, when you put brine down and then it rains, I mean,
Yeah.
Wasting money.
yeah, you might as well just dump the brine in the creek,
Yep.
so.
Oh, no, we'll get pollution.
Yeah, they won't get in
Yeah,
trouble
don't
for
say
it.
that.
Oh, if they work out plans to beat Jews, we're fine. Remember that, Dennis? We got a 40-minute dissertation on beet juice at one of the engineers there one year.
Oh, boy, I bet that was right now.
I think that might have been my last.
And that was just on the menu.
Wow. There it is.
Okay, moving on to.
Yes, please.
Yeah, let's do that.
Planning district?
I have nothing to say.
Palmer's like, stay where you're at, I'm good.
Thank you, sir. Fire district, Chief.
I can't top beet juice.
Hard too, it's tough, isn't it? It really is.
We do have the consent agenda, which we've all had a chance to look at. So anybody, anything you want to point out on that particular night?
Now, like I said, I took a risk putting a few things on there that we've covered in the business before, but it's all pretty routine.
I didn't have any problem with them, you guys? Additional stuff on that?
Figured you'd have the opportunity to pull it off the grill and talk about it, so.
I would assume that by next year that we'll have the government center will go down on the, Buckeye Eco Care, because we're gonna be digging up a lot of dirt and grass.
Well, we don't treat much up in the field there, but.
Just stays that green on its own.
Yeah, I don't think we need much chemical application.
Weeds stay green.
We don't do it.
That better than grass though.
Just everything from the break of the hill down.
That's why I don't worry about my yard.
And then they don't do the,
Looks good.
they don't do the field out here no more either.
Out here in the back.
Yeah, they just do the perimeter.
We need to do this field back here.
That's where all the dandelions come from.
Yeah.
If they do it, they don't do it as often.
Why don't you have a chat with them when they show up?
I can do that.
Both of you, either of you.
$1,200, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, I mean,
Yeah.
they're not, if they're just doing the perimeter, they're doing more at Diane's than they are here, and
Yeah.
it's a third the cost. So, you don't watch those guys. They showed up, my guy showed up at my house a week before Christmas, I'm like, what? You might have missed the window.
You come back from money yet?
It's pretty much dead.
I'm no eco-care guy.
Yeah. It was a Buckeye, but anyway.
Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda? So moved.
Second?
Mr. Mearsclaw?
Yay.
Mr. Gabbard?
Yay.
Mr. Wade?
Yay. Okay, any staff updates?
9 AM next week for the 2 public hearings that we've got, one for the second, public hearing for the motor vehicle tax, and then we'll sneak in the
9 AM, I think it's what?
Country Creek Lighting District here
Tuesday, 9 AM.
Tuesday, 9 AM.
6. All right, we'll be here.
I've got one. That's it. Are you done? I'm not sure if you guys heard, Ron Casey passed away. He is a township trustee in Harrison Township, a decorated chief deputy at Montgomery County Sheriff's Office. He was the fire chief at Harrison Township for 14 years, court bailiff, pretty much, God help me for saying this, a guy of the status of somebody like Ed that's been in the community his entire life, 72 years old, died unexpectedly.
Marine,
Yes.
Marine, decorated a couple times.
Family friend.
Northridge Hall of Fame at the same time as my dad.
Exactly.
Exactly.
And a friend of, grew up with Mayor Higginbrook. He's a friend of our family. Lou Metra, his brother-in-law, who's one of our local business owners.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yes, he's Lou's brother-in-law, Karen's brother. So, just thoughts and prayers.
Absolutely.
So, sorry about that.
It's all right. Anybody else have any comments? Okay, is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Gabbard?
Yay.
Mr. Mearsclaw?
Yay.
Mr. Wade?
Yay.